This one is about space, and it can't accomplish all that much in the amount of time and energy and resources that I have to devote to the subject here. But it is such an important subject, and so I want to give a little impression of some of the things that make space policy so important to me. My space initiatives amount to 4 things: seeking constitutional reform, which will affect space policy; promoting what I call crater cap colony concept design; and working to promote a new field of physical geometry, in addition to seeking to publicize a novel and other novels I've written about space colonization. How do you like traveling around at your age, Annika?
It's really cool because you get to see different places and meet different people.
And where are some of the places you've been?
I've been to Rome, I've been to Spain, I've been to Mexico, I've been to Belize, I've been to Connecticut, I've been to Georgia.
And how do you know me?
You're my uncle.
And what else? Annika Claire Smith, thank you for sharing with me. Neither the space policy of the United States nor of the world has come out of nowhere, has come out of no context. Rather, it's emerged out of the context of the technology, administrations, budgets, politics, ideas of the aerospace industry, of our historical institutions, of our military, of our scientific institutions. I pay tribute to those things. They've not been useless. They've done a good job in many ways. But I believe that we have to identify a series of significant changes of direction. We have to begin to think of space programs and policies as enabling us to take a step forward as a society. We can try to accommodate those challenged by those changes. We can hope for the right people to make the right changes. But we have to see colonization, social development, the preservation of the environment, the utilization of entirely new resources on a far vaster scale as part of the real and enduring and essential prerogatives and priorities of our space policy and programs on this planet. That is my goal.
Good one. Well, we can eat first, right? And then decide if we get it. Yes, we are. This would be the place to turn then. Yep, so U.S. on the rocket. Lance rocket, I believe.
First and foremost in my life, as someone interested in space policy, I believe is my obligation as a human being and as a citizen to see that the best comes out of this very costly enterprise. We've already invested a great deal in space, and of course we do have the GPS system, satellite television, satellite phones, and transmission mechanisms, and weather satellites, and certainly far from a wasted experience. And yet, when you consider the enormous cost and the enormous input of data and energy into this project, it does seem to me that we could have done much better and can do much better. There is serious discussion about terraforming entire planets, making them Earth-like, and that's very hard to do and very difficult, and there's serious planning has been done for small temporary habitats. Seems to me the goal needs to be the intermediate capping of craters on the moon and Mars, allowing those things that can melt inside the craters to form gases and liquids and to transform those into water and atmosphere, mine into the walls and form the floors and build habitats in them. Projects of this type require politics which is not motivated by pleasing the greatest number of people for 2 years and not by much of anything else. Transforming the economy of the world so that many nations are not given a handout but are players in space, so that America and Russia and China and other nations can lead in space, India and Europe. That will take constitutional change in the United States, among other things. I define outer space as all of the perceived universe farther from the center of the earth than the upper atmosphere of the earth. In other words, while we live our lives in some place other than outer space, almost everything we see and experience as a species in terms of space is outer space. 99.9%. But it's not enough to advocate political and technical change. There must be a change in science as well. The science that we currently have is not suitable for the pursuit of our full destiny and goals and needs as a human species, representing all the species of this planet and dealing with all the resources offered to us by our solar system, much less understanding the fullness of space and space-time that surrounds us. I have proposed the creation of a physical geometry which is different and which combines and unites in one field the disciplines of math, physics, and philosophy, which allows new principles to take hold in the mind and in society. My qualifications for this are hard to determine. I'm a person of broad experience. I've studied a great deal, read a great deal, visited many learned places and people, and studied much of nature. But there is very little that would recommend me as the founder of a new field of academic discipline in the sciences. And yet I do believe this physical geometry, with the terms and shapes and forms and insights which it offers, will also play a crucial role in developing our space destiny. That includes the idea that we can and should dream of building cities and the colonies that can be planted on the craters of the moon and Mars within a couple hundred years. The way to realize a profit from these things is through communications and power and satellite generation technologies that we already exhibit. In some ways, this vision is more egalitarian. More countries and powers are brought into a vision that isn't just American. More disciplines that are not just technocratic. But technocrats and others, not only technocrats, will have to see themselves as leaders, leading people in agriculture, in basic mining, and in simple manufacture. Bueno, hola amigo, ¿cómo te llamas?
Rodolfo Silva Martínez.
¿Y de dónde viene?
De Saltillo, Coahuila.
¿Y cuántos años tiene?
Tengo 23 años.
Y yo 45, por eso tiene más chance de hacer nuevas cosas que yo. ¿Y qué era su materia en la universidad?
Estudié ingeniería civil en la Universidad Autónoma.
Y te has unido a un grupo mío en el Facebook. ¿Y qué te interesa eso?
Claro que sí, es un tema muy interesante.
¿Y piensas que todo el mundo puede tener esperanzas de participar en el desarrollo del espacio o solamente en los 2 o 3 países?
No, claro, todo el mundo es una oportunidad para todos los países.
¿Y es la herencia de la humanidad o de rusos y americanos?
es de la humanidad.
Bueno, muchas gracias, hermano.
Ok, gracias.
How do we get our people home? They are here. You turn around, straight back, direct aboard.
No, sir. We get them on a free return trajectory. It's the option with the fewest question marks for safety.
I agree with Jerry. Use a gravity slingshot them around.
No, the level will not support 3 guys for that amount of time. I mean, we've got to do a direct abort. We do an about face, we bring the guys right home right now.
Get them back soon, absolutely.
We don't even know if the Odyssey's engine's even working. There's been serious damage to this spacecraft.
They blow up and they die. That is not what you're talking about time. Not whether or not these guys.
Let's hold it down. Let's hold it down, people.
In my view, there are not very many areas of space policy that we don't need to reconfigure or rethink in some ways, although we have to build on all the great advances and assets that we have. The mixture of man and unmanned policy, the goal of colonization.
We've got enough power for direct abort of the SBS on a surface module. Well, Thomas told us it could have been damaged in an explosion, so let's consider that engine dead. We like that thing up until it all works. Just too risky. Not gonna take that chance. I think anything command module is good for us re-entry, so that leaves us with the LEM, which means free return trajectory. Once we get the guys around the moon, we'll fire up the LEM engine, make a long burn, pick up some speed, get them home as quick as we can.
Gene, I'm wondering what the Gremlin guys think about this.
We can't make any guarantees. We designed the LEM to land on the moon, not fire the engine out there for course correction.
Well, unfortunately, we're not landing on the moon, are we? I don't care what anything was designed to do. I care about what it can do. So let's get to work. Let's lay it out, okay?
I think that part of the answer to moving forward in space policy is going to be recognition of the role of astronauts and those who succeed in space as experience which leads somewhere, which leads to different social rewards. We have to look at the fact that astronauts have traditionally been seen as desirable by the opposite sex throughout their brief history, and yet our societies diminish that as an effective form of social transaction, both in the instances of extreme misogynistic scientific technocratic male worship and in modern feminism and in reactionary religion. In all those ways, we have to move beyond that. We have to look at those who have struggled and have difficult lives on Earth who could benefit from a place to colonize. We look at the possibility of those who are not free being more free but not completely free to build a better life elsewhere. Here there will be no aboriginal peoples to dispossess, no ecosystems to destroy. Here will be humanity's chance to make something great in a complete and somewhat conservative social model. Just a collection of thoughts, but we have to reshape space policy or lose the future, lose the possibility of what humanity can be, what leadership can be, what America can be in the new frontier, the endless West.